So I grew up in an abusive home. We were actually a Christian family. We went to church, but when we came home, there was all manner of chaos. I grew up believing in God. I believed that He existed. I prayed. I talked to Him. But my view of who God was one of a distant father who was uncaring, who believed that there's something wrong with me. And so that was why I was in that particular situation. And that's why my parents did what they did. So as I grew up, I believed a lot of lies about not being worthy, about being alone and unseen. And I carried those lies into my life and into adulthood. When I graduated high school, I thought that if I just got out of my situation, if I went to college, and if I found a church, that my life would improve. And it did not. So I ended up going and still struggling with those same lies that you are not wanted, you're not accepted, and the only reason why people want to be around you is for what you can give and what you bring to the table. What was so amazing is during that time, I actually met a couple. It was an older couple about my parents' age, and they just kind of had this come as you are attitude where as soon as you walked into their house, you were family. And so they're the ones who led me to Christ. They're the ones who told me what a walk with the Lord looked like. And they are the ones who started helping me defeat a lot of those lies. But I still had these same beliefs in my head that you are only here based off of what you can bring to the table. My singing voice actually was a big factor in this too, because I thought that my voice was just a tool to keep people around me, that it was what gave me value. And so during college, being in worship ministry, I started to learn to use it as an opportunity to worship the Lord and bring people closer to Him, and also to grow in my own walk with Him. I later ended up going to seminary, and I kind of believed the same thing. I went into the same pattern that if I just go to seminary, I get this degree, I serve in the church, my life will just be better as long as I look like a good Christian. And a lot of those lies just kept persisting. I ended up going into a lot of unhealthy relationships and just feeling like I had to put up an appearance of just the good Christian girl. And it ended up leading to me entering into a situation that has kind of changed my life to this day. And so I started going to another church during this time. I was serving very heavily, but I was just really kind of drowning in these lies and these feelings of just emptiness, loneliness, and like I wasn't good enough. And during this time, I got to a point where I was actually suicidal, and I tried to trust my church, and I shared a lot of things, and it just wasn't taken very well. And I almost overnight lost my entire community because they thought that I was sharing these things out of manipulation or out of trying to get out of a situation. And I remember being at kind of the end of my rope and just being like, God, what is the point? Why am I here? And what was so beautiful during this time is God met me where I was at. He started to show me that even if you have no one else, I am enough. And so I spent a year just deep in prayer, walking with the Lord, going to a church where I just really wasn't seen or spoken to. And I discovered the God who sees and the God who never leaves me nor forsakes me. And during this time, once I finally found peace with being alone and God being enough, the Lord started leading me to start looking at other churches. And what was so amazing is I actually had been going to impact counseling for a couple years during this time. And so I visited Lake Church, and I just felt a lot of peace going there. And what was so crazy is on one of my second or third car drives to the church, I just did kind of like a throwaway prayer. I said, God, it would be so amazing if I could just get connected with leadership, if I could have a community of mature believers. And it's like when I finally let go of this obsession with having these relationships, these friendships, and having people be what sustained me, God started bringing people left and right. It's like I would walk into the door and I'd meet a new person, and I've just grown such an amazing community of believers to walk alongside me who minister to me in still a really hard season. And so I've really seen God meet me as El Roy, the God who sees. And I've really seen him show me that I am enough, that he will continue to walk with me and pursue me, even when I show up perfectly or imperfectly, that he is just going to be faithful no matter what. That's all I got.